And hopefully we have her here. And thanks so much to all the different people who are joining in to us now.
Hey.
Hi, Maureen. How are you?
How's it going?
Look at you. You're looking fab.
So they make the effort.
I know it's terrible pressure, isn't it, when you're going to be live on Instagram? It's like, oh my God, what my makeup right, my clothes right, what are we like?
I haven't gotten dressed in a week. But
you see, but the thing is now, we only have to dress in the top part. That's it. You know, it doesn't matter if we're wearing our pajama bottoms on the bottom.
I'm not wearing any pants.
Only you, Maureen, only you. Oh, but look, it is great to have you on. Thank you so much for being part of this. It's, I suppose, a new initiative we have with Tempted, and that when we can communicate through our clothes, now that we are all definitely safe at home, we have to communicate in another way. So we just thought this would be a really good way, I suppose, for our customers to just have a little bit of a distraction, I suppose. So exactly, I'm delighted to be able to chat with you today. So Maureen, I know you for years at this stage, but how did you get involved? I never actually ever asked you that. How did you get involved in being a makeup artist, or how did you get to where you are today, as the man says?
Oh God. I suppose my first memory is probably my godmother. She was kind of, she was always really cool when I was younger, and she was a real kind of a second mother figure to me. But she had this huge bag of makeup inside in her bathroom. Oh. So I would sneak in to go to the toilet, and then I would come out with this full face of makeup. And I was a real tomboy, and I never kind of felt attractive. And then I would put this makeup on, and I would feel like I could conquer the world. And it's the only time that I ever felt really beautiful.
Oh,
and yeah, it's gas like this. Do you remember the little? It was a compact. It was called Max Factor.
Yes.
And there was a little powder puff in it, and I just felt amazing after using it. So, I've always had that kind of in me, and I've always been into makeup, and I've experimented my whole life. And I think the first course that I ever did was Makeup Forever in Dublin. Okay. And at the time, there was no such thing as a makeup course, and there was waiting lists to get into these colleges. They're everywhere now, but when I was doing them, it was really difficult. So I started off there and just done courses, and I've upskilled every single year since then.
Brilliant. And you really do upskill. You're that's the one thing I noticed. You're constantly looking at what's the next thing I can learn, and every time we work with you, and we've worked together now for I don't know how many years, but yeah. Every time I do a shoot with you, or every time we do anything together, it's I learn so much. And I'm not the makeup junkie, but I learn so much from you, and it's always brilliant, because you always have all these little hints and tips and everything that but the one thing I suppose that stands out for me when I work with you from a shoot is you're always so calm, so collected, and you're a really calming influence on everybody. And I suppose now more than ever we need a calming influence.
Yeah.
Because there's so much kind of going on all around us, and we could all do with that little bit of kind of calm and a sense of self at the minute. What do you do, I suppose, yourself to give you that sense of calm every day?
I think I'm one of these people that I may look like I'm calm, but I'm this duck that's paddling frantically under the water, and in my head I'm screaming. But I suppose at the moment we're all kind of on lockdown, and since Leo made his first announcement on the Thursday and the schools closed, I've been at home. I think I've been to Lidl once. Yeah. And for me it's about staying at home, keeping my family safe, and knowing that anyone that I'm around, there's no chance that they could have picked anything up for me. So what I'm doing is I'm cleaning frantically. I'm getting to presses that I haven't gotten to in years. But what I'm trying to do is show my children, Lexi and Charlie, they're 5 and 2. I'm showing them a little bit of self-care. So yesterday I filled a basin of water and put loads of kind of bubbles in it, and then let them bathe their feet, and then give them a foot massage.
Oh, that's a lovely idea.
Yeah, but it's not even putting the word mental health or self-care on it. It's making it a really normal thing. And I find for myself, I'm trying to read a little bit more. I'm trying to limit my exposure to kind of the news, and I'm trying to get it out of my head, so I'm not thinking about where we are all the time, and I'm trying to pull back a little bit of control. So I think what I did for the first couple of days is I got up in the morning, threw my hair into a bun, threw on a tracksuit, no makeup, just washed my face, and it didn't feel like me. So I suppose in an attempt to grab back some control. And now I'm getting up in the morning, I'm doing my face, putting on my serums, putting on my moisturizer, putting on my makeup, and it's a real fight. It's a quick routine because we're up at 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning and the kids want their breakfast. And so it's all about really quick skincare, but putting makeup on so I feel like me, and it's helping me feel like I've control of a situation that I actually have no control of. Yeah.
And it's funny because I know I would be a lot the same myself, in that the days that I don't put on makeup are not my good days. Like it's like, and you know, and it's terrible to say that that's what the effect it has, but that's the reality. It's like when I put my makeup on, you know, it's like, yeah, I am ready for the world, and the world can throw whatever at me and I will be able for it. And the other thing which I did the last 2 days, I took out my favorite perfume, the good perfume that you keep for the special occasion. And I've worn that every morning, and like those last 2 mornings, and actually just even smelling that really nice perfume has been like brilliant. Do you know what I mean? Because it's like, I just thought it's those little things that, you know, I suppose help and make it all feel normal. But like, we've all got lots of time now at home, I suppose is the other side of things.
Plenty of it,
and one of the things which I'd always said, like, you know, every week is be like, I'm going to clean my makeup brushes this, you know, this Sunday, and it never happened. And now I'm at home and I can't go out and buy the makeup cleaner brush stuff that everyone talks about. Is there, like, I know that's a job that a lot of people would say, you know, it's on the long finger and now we can get at it. But is there something we can stuff we can use at home to clean our brushes, or other things that we can do like that that we can do while we are at home that will, I suppose, help our whole makeup situation?
Yeah, like 100%. I actually have, so, you know, when we were talking, you were saying kind of hero products, and my Johnson's baby shampoo. I have it here on hand. It's fantastic for your brushes when you're trying to clean them. So it'll soften them. It's kind of a bit of a treat for them, and then you'll feel like your makeup will apply a little bit better when your brushes are clean. And the thing is, you should probably be disinfecting them as well at the moment, because if you can imagine, if you're carrying the coronavirus and you don't know about it, if you cough onto a brush or onto your hand and then put it onto a product, that's sitting there for whatever length of time. So I've heard everything from like 3 hours to 2 weeks or whatever. So I suppose you need to be more clean than you normally would be. The clean your brushes is definitely a way to kill time, but it's probably more important than ever. So if you think about it, you cough into your hand, you know, or into your elbow, then you touch your makeup brush and you put your makeup brush on your face. Now it's on your hand, it's on your face, it's on your makeup brushes, it's going back into maybe your makeup bag, it's all over everything in your bag. So you should be really, really careful.
And so how do I use the Johnson's baby shampoo? Like, I'm literally, I'm one of these people who buys that, like, you know, those people who buys the spray thing, you know, that you get that you can clean your brushes with or whatever.
And they're really good for spot cleaning. So like literally,
if we're going to use the Johnson's, what do we do?
So your Johnson's baby shampoo, literally pour €1 to a €2 sized coin amount onto the palm of your hand. Then what you're going to do is you're going to wet the top of your makeup brush. I have a makeup brush here, so you wet the top of the makeup brush, and then what you do is into your hand, just circular motions like this. And then what you're doing is you're building a really good lather, so loads of bubbles, and then you keep rubbing it in the center of your hand underneath the water until the water runs clear. And then you know that the brush is clean. And what you're going to do is you never ever store your brushes like this when you're drying them, because what will happen is all the water will go into the glue, it will loosen on the glue, and then the hairs or the bristles from the top of your brush then will fall out and you'll ruin your brush. So what you're going to do is you're going to dry them flat on the top of a radiator or on top of a surface like that, and when they're dry then you'll be able to feel the top of them, you'll know it's dry, and then you can store them as you normally would. And if you didn't have Johnson's baby shampoo, is there anything else? Like, can you use washing up liquid? Can you use ordinary shampoo? You can use, like, I would recommend probably normal shampoo. Like, if your brushes are very dirty, give them a blast of the, you know, fairy liquid. But I wouldn't use it all the time because it's a little bit harsher than the baby shampoo. So you want something that's quite conditioning on your brushes, but you don't want something that's going to damage them in the long run either. So, like, if you had surgical spirits at home, you could use that at the moment, but in the long term, it will damage the bristles on your brush. So that's why Johnson's baby shampoo is your number one. Normal shampoo after that, and then if you've all the time in the world, which is what we have at the moment, you can use conditioner, leave it on for like 60 seconds, and then wash it off.
No, because like we do spend a fair bit of money on our makeup brushes, so it's good to like, you can't, you know, and it is good to get use out of them and get the, you know, get the length of time out of them so that you kind of feel.
Yeah. Like a lot of people are used to spending that kind of money on their makeup brushes, but I think there's so many different options available now from local chemists and pharmacies. You could actually start buying your makeup brushes there, because years ago they were very kind of synthetic and kind of plasticky when you were buying them locally.
Yeah.
But now the quality in the brushes is unbelievable. And you don't have to spend, like when I started off with makeup, a foundation brush was usually between 45 and 50 euro.
Okay.
So like when you had a bag of makeup brushes, like it was a lot of money. But now you get like a full set for 40, 50 euro. And there's actually a brand that I recommend all the time. It's called, I think it's Zoeva. It's a German brand. It's Zoeva.
Yes, you recommended that to me before.
Oh,
and
like
it's brilliant.
So affordable and super soft, and they last for years if you take care of them. So you can actually get them in Brown Thomas, and you can get them, say, online, or you can get them from Germany, the actual website itself. So it's zoeva.de, and then they've makeup as well, and the makeup is beautiful as well.
Yeah, no, I have to say I think my foundation brush might be from them, and it's just like it's gorgeous brush.
Super soft.
Yeah, and it's good to be able to get kind of the cheaper products like that, because you know, it's sometimes it's hard to know what should I spend my money on. Like, do I if I'm going to spend money on, do I need to spend it on the brushes, or is it more, or you know, do I spend it on foundation, or where do I actually need to put the money in to get the results, and what things can I kind of maybe skimp on a little bit, I suppose, or not go as expensive?
You can definitely skimp on the brushes and those kind of tools if you mind them. Now, like if you're getting really, really cheap brushes, you have to kind of understand that they are cheap brushes, so they're not going to last you as long. You probably have to take better care of them. Or if you're spending money, like if you're getting a MAC makeup brush or a Charlotte Tilbury makeup brush or Tom Ford, you know that it's going to last you. Whereas if you're getting something from like Pennies, which is super value, it mightn't last you as long. And I find particularly, you know, the joining of, if you have a brush here, do you know the joint, this part here where the metal joins the wood? I find that falls off an awful lot quicker with the cheaper brushes. The bristles kind of are good enough quality, but the actual brush as a whole doesn't last as long. So once you're aware of that, and you have your, you know, your super glue at home, you can fix it yourself, you know.
Yeah, that's it. That's true. That's very true. Brilliant.
So definitely, if you're going to invest the brushes.
Okay. And if you were to think as well of other stuff that we could be doing now that we have time, that we've, I suppose, in terms of our makeup, what other kind of tips would you give us? That, because like when we're playing around with makeup, it's great fun. In fairness.
Yeah. And we know where to go now, so you can practice all day long. But it's the perfect time now to kind of be practicing with your makeup brushes, or like even there's a couple of tips, and I'm talking about this for years. And it's actually like I have a younger sister, well, two younger sisters, but my younger sister that's only kind of 18 months younger than me, she had the most amazing way of doing her mascara when we were younger, and her lashes were always out to here. So like Lancome Hypnose is my absolute favorite all-time mascara, and I always use 2 or 3 coats of it. But what I love about it is the brush on it. It's very, very thin, so it allows you to get right into the base of the lashes. But this is the perfect time to actually practice your mascara technique. So I suppose before I give you a quick blast of it here, when you're opening up your mascara wand, if you hear a pop, then you know absolutely perfect, keep using it. But if there's no sound when you take your mascara wand out of your container, then the product inside is drying out, so it means that you need a new mascara. So you never ever do this pumping action that you see everyone doing, because what you're doing is, especially with COVID-19 at the moment, you're pulling everything that's in the air and you're pushing it into the barrel of your mascara wand. So if you're doing that, what you're doing is every bit of bacteria, then you're pushing it into your wand, and then you're putting it onto your eye, which is absolutely not recommended. So
I always thought if you heard the pop, the mental mascara was gone.
No, if you hear the pop, then like it's perfect, like it's working. So when you don't hear the pop anymore, then you can just dispose of it. But you can always keep the actual wand, if you know, if you have a really favourite wand, hold on to that for another mascara that you mightn't like the brush as much. So what you're going to do
that makes sense. That's a good idea, actually. Yeah.
And you can really get in then at the lashes. But what you're going to do is you're going to twist the wand around the barrel of the mascara tube and then pull it out. So then you've coated all of the bristles with the mascara, and then you're going to apply it. So you'll see, you know, every woman in your life has always done this kind of business, you know, they've been putting on the mascara. But if you think about it, you're not actually getting many of your lashes there, you're just kind of pushing them up. So what you should be doing is starting at the top and then pushing down. So you're going to zigzag right to left. So you're coating the left and the right of each one of the lashes. And then you're going to twist your hand and then pull the lashes up. And then you're going to go underneath and push them up. So you've now coated both sides of your lashes, left and right, up and down, and you've got these huge lashes. You know, like...
That's like a revelation now, because
Yeah.
I've only ever done mascara from the bottom, of, you know, from my underneath the lash up and out. So I should be doing it from the top, like the top part of it down, and then go the other side.
Exactly, yeah. And then what you're doing is you're actually going to be twisting your hands then as you're pulling them up. So you're actually training your lashes to curl upwards. And then what you're going to do as well is you're going to, like I said, zigzag from right to left, pull them up. And you're just going to make your lashes seem longer and fuller and more voluptuous, and 2 or 3 coats always.
Because I know for me, when I'm putting on mascara, I have my mouth open. It's like,
oh, yeah.
It's like,
how do you even put on mascara if your mouth isn't open when you do that?
So literally, like, at least now I can, like that's good, because you know, when you're in a hurry in the morning, you just literally have to do it as quick as you can, get out the door, you know, that's all. So at least this is something like you have time, we can actually all practice. We'll have fabulous lashes by the end of
we will. But the thing is, when you first start doing this, if you can imagine, you're used to doing this your whole life.
Yeah.
Now if you're trying to get in and get right down to the base of the lash, it's going to go in here, it's going to go up here, it's going to go down here, it's going to be all under your eye. And if you're practicing this at home and you know you've nowhere to go, like you're not in a rush, you're under no pressure. Like, don't even do it in the morning, do it in the evening when the kids are sorted or they're gone to bed, or if you're, you know, like having 5 minutes to yourself, sit down and just give yourself that time, and you will not know yourself. Honestly, if you never listen to another word I say, mascara is the key to happiness.
Well, look, I've always felt mascara had definitely got a big part to play in happiness, because I know myself, when I put mascara on, like, you just feel, even if I'm only ever putting on foundation and mascara, I just feel as if, oh yeah, I'm alive, you know. It gives you that alive feeling. But I think there'll be a lot of people going around with curlier lashes as a result of this.
Exactly, yeah.
You know, especially now, people, you know, so many people have you know, eyelash extensions and all that type of thing, and like when they can't get those done, they're going to literally feel like they're so bare, you know. So that's a good thing.
It is tough for people who are used to getting their nails done, their hair done, their eyebrows done.
Yeah.
And that kind of actually brings me on nicely to one of my next hero products. It's called Eyelure, and it's Eyebrow. That's it there.
Okay.
This is kind of a do-it-yourself at home eyebrow kit. So,
okay,
like,
yeah, because
a bit scary.
If you're like, it's like when you're used to getting a tint done in your brows, it's like, oh, it's scary to think that they, you know, they can get so light, you know, in color. Yeah. Is Eyelure easy to get? Like, I mean,
it's so easy to get.
Okay.
And like at the moment, I'm kind of like you know, it's all about encouraging you to buy local and spend locally. Yeah. So what I found is, you know, I'm living here in Thurles in Tipperary, and what I found is there's a lot of chemists that you can actually ring up. So supposing you need your makeup or your brushes or your eye kit, you can ring them, ask them to put it into a bag for you, pay for it over the phone, and then literally you walk in the door, collect your package, and you're gone. Yeah. So like, you can practice social distancing, and you can still take care of yourself at the same time, and you're supporting your local businesses. Now, if you can't, there's always like Cara Pharmacy, there's always Boots online, and they'll deliver directly to your front door as well, so you don't even have to leave the house. Yeah.
Okay. So the Eyelure, how easy, like, how foolproof is it for the person who needs foolproof when it comes to makeup?
Okay, so I'm one of these, do you know the way you said you're not a makeup junkie?
Yeah.
That's me. My name is Maureen. I'm a makeup junkie. I tried everything. Like, I remember about, I think it was 4 or 5 years ago, I found this product that was huge in China. So like, ordered it, came over, and then without even looking up reviews, I put it straight onto my eyebrows. So what it does is, it's a gel. You literally paint it onto the shape of your eyebrow, you leave it on for about 5 minutes, and then you pull it off, and it's dyed your brows. But then when I had it on my eyebrows, I started reading all these stories, and people had pulled them off and their eyebrow had come with it. So like, I'm sticking to brands that I know really well, and I have used this for years, so it's absolutely foolproof. So there's just, I suppose, a few key tips that you need to remember. So it is a dye that you're putting on your eyebrows. Okay. So what you're going to do is use Vaseline just to coat underneath the eyebrow, above, and the whole way around it. So anywhere that you don't want any dye, you're going to put Vaseline there. So if the dye does get on the Vaseline, you wipe off the Vaseline, and you don't have brown dye up here and down here and whatever. And it's something that you need to say, right, I'm going to take the 5 minutes to do this for myself. Give yourself 10-15 minutes on your own, no distractions. I wouldn't be doing it in the middle of dinner now or anything, or, you know, like, give yourself the time to do it. So I would recommend that you start off, so 2 minutes is the minimum that you leave it on, okay? So there's a little bit of mixing, but you literally follow the, like there's a little, say a little booklet that comes with it, so you literally follow it the whole way down. Okay. Put it on your eyebrows for 2 minutes and then take it off. If you're happy with the colour, leave it. If you're not happy with the colour, leave it on for another minute, 2 minutes max. Take it off, see if you like it. If you like it, finish. If not, put it 1 more minute. You can only leave this on for a maximum of 5 minutes. Okay. But it will last up to 6 weeks depending on how you cleanse your face. So if you're rubbing your eyebrows all the time, you can get 2 to 3 weeks out of it. So Vaseline all over the areas that you don't want any dye, and then you're just going to brush it into your brows. One of the things that I find, say you have to kind of understand your brows before you use a product like this. So very, very quickly, how you understand if, you know, what shape your brow suits you the best is just a normal brush. So you take a straight edge, you take it to the corner of your nose and then put it straight up along. So there should be no hair in here. Your hair should start here, and that's the perfect angle for my face. Then what you do is go to the corner of your eye and then go right over your pupil. That's where your arch should be. Then the corner of your nose to the corner of your eye, and there should be no hair here. So no hair here, the arch should be here, and then the corner of your eye, then your eyebrow should stop here. So really, really simple. What I would normally do is then I just get like a little bit of, if you put a little bit of eyeshadow or something on the end of your brush, put it there, that'll leave a tiny little mark, or else you can get like a little bit of eye pencil and then mark it there. The corner of your eye, mark it here, and then the corner of your eye again here, mark it there. So you'll know not to go too far in or too far down.
Okay, that's a great idea, because I have to say, I kind of always struggle to know where the arch is, and I always admire people who have those fabulous arches. Do you know what I mean? So that's a good way to know how to do it and how to mark it. That's and then
really once you have your eyebrows dyed, then you can just take the tweezers to them, and anything that's not dyed, then you just pluck off.
Yeah, and it was actually funny because I was listening to Waxworth's Ellen, who
I love her.
She's brilliant, and she was saying, like, yes, you can, like, you know, we're asking you not to wax other areas, but you can tweeze your eyebrows, because like nobody wants these bushy eyebrows.
No.
At the end of these few weeks, it's like, you know, so it is trying to kind of keep it all as best we can.
It's just a maintenance until things go back to normal. But for the moment, you're pulling back a little bit of control, and you're making yourself feel a little bit good about yourself.
Yeah.
And it's a skill. Like, you can like use the time that we have now to learn something.
Like, imagine coming out and saying at the end of it, I actually now know how to do my full face of makeup properly. At the end of it all.
Exactly. Like, and I'd be out of business.
That's an achievement, isn't it? It's just like, it's, you know, because like all those things do give you that kind of little bit of sense of control, like, about what the stuff that's not controllable. Do you know? Yeah. Okay. In terms of the other hero products, because you've got some good ones so far, what else would you say, like, are things that we can actually really utilize now, or we should look at now?
So I think for the moment, it's like, there's no point wasting makeup and putting on a full face of makeup every day. Now, if that makes you feel good, absolutely do it. Yeah. But what I would say is, like, you're probably busy. If you're at home, you probably have a lot to be doing. So anyone who has children is going to have like maybe 3 to 5 minutes in the morning to get their makeup on. So what I really love is having my brows done, concealer, and then my lashes done, and then multi-use products. So my favorite concealer is the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer. And I suppose just a little bit of education, because I love to teach people about makeup. When you're talking about you're underneath your eyes, or you're very tired, or it could be even a hereditary thing. If you have a lot of blueness underneath your eyes, or kind of a purpley colour, you're looking for a peach or a pink undertone. Okay. So the colour is most important. I'm asked that an awful lot. So when it comes to concealer, a lot of people have the problem where they're putting on an awful lot of concealer and they've all of this caking underneath the eye area. Yeah. So, you know, they have a lot of fine lines, and there's kind of, you know, like a residue forming just underneath their eyes. So what you want to do is you want to get the colour right, so that when you're using the right colour, you're only using a tiny amount of the product. Okay. So you will find that you have to put on an awful lot of product to do what you need it to do when you're not using the right colour. So if you think of it, I'm not going to go into the colour wheel because it can be quite complicated, but I'll make it very easy for people. What you're doing is you're looking for a yellow undertone when you're trying to cover a spot or anything that's red, or you're looking for a pink undertone or kind of a peachy undertone when you have a blue or a purple colour that you want to cover up. So what you're talking about is under the eye, usually it's kind of a blue or a purpley colour. So what you want to do is use your concealer, but don't, if you have, say for me now with the kids, like if I do that, you can see the line straight away. So here, along there is, you know, where I have kind of that depth, or kind of, it's called, they're your tear troughs there.
Okay.
So what happens is when you get tired, you lose all the collagen here, and then you can see kind of the dip. Now, if I bring my concealer to there, I'm only going to highlight this area. But a key trick is to bring your concealer right down to the corner of your nose, and then bring it up in an inverted triangle right up along your cheekbone. So what you're doing is you're highlighting all this area. So when the light bounces on it, it's reflected back, and then you're not drawing attention to it. You're just highlighting, you're highlighting the area, but the light bounces, so you're not highlighting it,
Right.
you know, the way highlighter along here.
Right, so, that's possibly then where I go wrong, because I literally would just, I'm looking there now, my God, the light makes it look like I have terribly dark circles, but like I only ever would have brought concealer to there, do you know what I mean, on my face? So bring it down further.
Bring it down a little bit further, and then you're not highlighting kind of the deepest part of your under eye area.
Okay, okay, right. And in terms of concealers, again, like, do you need to spend, you know, a good bit of money to get the right concealer, or are there good brands out there that are like a little bit more accessible, I suppose, and at the moment, are they, like, say, chemist based or supermarket based that they can be got, or is that something we actually need to spend a fair bit of money on?
No, I wouldn't say so. I do find you have to work a little bit harder with a more affordable concealer. So for example, LA Girl is a really like a fantastic brand that's so affordable. Again, it's like chemist pharmacy based. So if you've your local chemist and you know they supply that brand, ring up, give them your order, collect it at the door. You don't even have to go into the shops. You're not putting yourself at any risk. Also, I love Flormar. It's a really affordable product.
Yeah.
But a lot of the cheaper products tend to have talc in them, and talc is the product that's going to form that residue underneath your eye. So what I would say is I'd use a beauty blender if you're going to use those types of products.
Okay.
Or the tips of your fingers. So what you'll do is, what I do is, and it's a total habit because I'm doing makeup since 2003. So what I like to do is I put the product on the back of my hand, warm it up with my finger, and then I tap it into the area that I want it to go. And then I'm not worrying about making sure my beauty blender is clean. But if you're only using it on yourself, get your beauty blender, wet it so it doesn't absorb all of the product. And then what you'll do is squeeze out the excess so it's damp, not like really wet or drowned it. And then what you'll do is you'll tap the concealer onto your eye area, down to your nose, and bring it up into that lovely inverted triangle shape, so that you're soaking up any of the kind of the talciness or the dryness of it, and then it'll sit properly on your skin. And if you are going to powder it, you use a really, really fine milled powder. Flormar do a really lovely translucent powder, and my ultimate favourite is Laura Mercier, but that's €45. The Flormar one is more affordable, and so is the Rimmel one.
Okay, brilliant. Okay, right.
A lot of information there. I'm sorry, I can't help myself.
I'm gonna have to like listen back now and write notes. That's like that's what I'm gonna have to do. Or we might actually just put together a little infographic or something. I don't know.
Oh, I'll do that.
I'll have to talk to Shan and see how she, like, you know, how she might do that.
But like, if anyone feels that you know, they have more questions, because I have no filter when it comes to the amount of information. It just like vomits out of me. So if anyone wants to contact me, send me a DM. Now I'm very busy at the moment, just with, you know, brides who unfortunately have to cancel their weddings. So my admin has gone through the roof, and I'm trying my best to keep up with that. But I will definitely get back to you, but it just could be a day or two.
Yeah, no, well, look, but you are a fountain of knowledge. Like that is just a given. Like every single shoot, every time we do the Today Show on RTE or whatever, I just come away like going, oh my God, like, you know. And when I said I'm not a makeup junkie, what I mean is I'm no good at doing it, but I buy all the products. So I have literally like, oh yeah, I have that. Oh, I have that. I just don't know how to use it, you know.
I know, and I think that's the trap we all fall into. Like, you see this really beautiful girl who's selling all this makeup, and you're like, what are you wearing? I'll buy it all. And then you forget to educate yourself. And I think, like, you know, treat yourself to a makeup lesson, or take the time now to learn how to do it, so that you come out the other side like this cocooning thing. You're a butterfly, you're coming out the other end, you've learned a skill, and you feel amazing about yourself.
Well, that's it. Because I bought the last product I bought was the Charlotte Tilbury, the big palette that was €75.
I know.
And it had like, and the product in it is fabulous. Like, but it had day, date, dream, and something at office, I think, or something, whatever it was anyway. So I, like, there's 12 shadows in it. I've used 3 because that's the only 3 that I kind of feel a little bit comfortable with. And there's all these other things in the palette that I'm like going, you know, I will someday. You know?
But I think that's that's one of the mistakes we make as well. You buy a big palette with 12 to 15 colors in it, and you're like, I don't know what to do. And next thing, then you've an empty, you know, tray.
You have a pan on one of them, and it's like, now where do I go?
Yeah, and then you put it away, and then you move on to the next palette. So I think it's really good to understand, you know, colors that suit you, and just buy single eyeshadows and stick to them. Because I just like, it's like, you know, with Tempted, Rosemary, it's all about like your shape.
Yes.
And once you're dressing for your shape, you're flawless and it's classic. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's the same with makeup. You have to dress for your face and for your color tones. And that's never really going to change. So once you get your like makeup wardrobe right once, it'll be right forever.
That's a really good way to look at it, isn't it? Like,
yeah, and you'll always look amazing.
I mean, I'm not 17. I'm not experimenting with like these crazy colors. I just want to look pretty okay on a regular Tuesday. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's
exactly.
And I think that's most of the people I know. And do you know what I mean? Like, it's mad. You know what I mean? It's great, like to know what to do with what you have, and then, you know, if you're buying stuff, what you're, you know, that you're just building on that, as opposed to kind of just randomly going in somewhere and going, oh, I love that, I'll just buy that. It's like a new shiny thing.
Yeah, because you get that buzz for the few minutes that you have the product, and then it goes back into the back of your makeup bag or your makeup drawer or whatever it is. And like my kit is worth like thousands, but it's usually the same type of products that I'm using all the time. You know, so I think you kind of, you look Marie Kondo, like you need to be a little bit like hardcore and ruthless with your makeup wardrobe. And like a friend of mine contacted me this morning, and she wanted to ask me a makeup question, and the question was, will all my makeup be out of date by the time that this lockdown is over? And like the answer to that is no. Like, so I suppose, again, just a little bit of information and education. When you buy a makeup product, usually there's a little tiny jar on the product somewhere.
Yes.
It's a jar, and then the lid is slightly open on it, and there's a number on it. So the number is actually the amount of months that you can have the product once it's opened. So for example, usually mascara will be 3 to 6 months. So that means as soon as you open it for the first time, the active ingredients are breaking down and it's starting to go out of date. So you can still use it after the 3 to 6 months or the 18 months, whatever the recommendation is on the product, as long as it doesn't come out orange, or there isn't like a funky smell of it, or you know, it used to be white, now it's green, you know. So that's quite important. But you can keep your makeup for as long as it's safe to do so. And if you find that you're starting to break out and you're not usually the person that breaks out, then it's time to think critically about what's actually in your makeup bag and look at it and decide how long you've had it. And like, if you've had it since anything but 1990 to 95 to 2000, anything in the last 10 years, maybe it's time to do kind of like a burning ceremony and say goodbye to that part of your life.
But I'm just thinking, like, you know, when you get actually, like, now we're all going to get drawers and stuff like that we never touched in I don't know how long. So it's like, I'm very likely to go in there and go, oh yeah, I remember buying that. Like, never having used it, or maybe I used it twice and now it's like, yeah, I definitely can't be keeping that, you know.
No, that's for the bin. Like, and you know what? Like, if it doesn't make you happy anymore, get rid of it.
That's
or
true.
an eye infection.
Well, listen, none of us need an eye infection at the moment, do we?
There's enough going on.
There's enough happening, Oh god. But look, what I thought was really interesting there, what you're saying in terms of like a skill, like, you know, like that we could all come out of this with a really good skill. Like, if you were to, like, who are the people, I suppose, that for, like, obviously you're going to be following a particular group of makeup artists and whatever, because you're at an advanced level as to what you know, in terms of your learning. If you're like me, and probably like a lot of people watching, and we're at a very basic level, who are the people that we should maybe have a little look at now that we've time to maybe look at some YouTube channels, or we've time to follow maybe somebody different on Instagram? Who do you feel, I suppose, would have simple, relatable content that we could actually maybe learn from and actually learn how to do a few bits?
I suppose, like you said, like a lot of the stuff that I'm looking at is quite creative and probably wouldn't interest that many people. I think YouTube is fantastic. Like, it's a huge resource, and like this is how long I'm doing makeup makeup tutorials on, you know, YouTube were not a thing when I started off with makeup. So you know the way you can just click on to the likes of Charlene Flanagan, or like I have a couple of friends, Laura Kay and Clonmel, she's amazing. There's you know, Dawn Fahy, she's blowing, Kilkenny. Then you have Karen Marr, she's in Kilkenny. You know, there's so many people that are around. Emma Hogan Air, she's airbrushed. You know, like local people who bring everything back to basics, and the content is quite accessible, and they're really good with their time, so you can actually DM them and they'll give you a little bit of time.
Okay.
But like, you know, Kim Kardashian's makeup artist, Mario Dedivanovic.
Yes.
I can't believe I said that out loud. Like, I don't even know if I pronounced that properly. But anyway, he is amazing, and he's very relatable, and he has a YouTube channel. So all you have to do is Google his name, and all of his tutorials will come up. Now his makeup is very, like, it's very, like, there's a lot of makeup used in it. So from a certain age group, what you want to do is take a little bit of I don't know, like, take an example of his work and then apply it to yourself. So, you know, if you find lines, or if you have dehydration lines around your face, you know, to ease up off the makeup. You don't want that caked look. Okay.
Brilliant. Maureen, as always, it's always a pleasure talking to you. And I come away with loads of knowledge. I mean, I was actually thinking this morning, and I know we've worked on shoots before, but the dedication you had. Lexi was only born. And you came to, we were doing a shoot for TV3 for Expose, and you came with Owen, and Owen walked Lexi around while you did. I know Jessica Borza was one of the models of the day, and I can't remember who the second one was, but literally you that was your dedication to makeup, and to, I suppose, to, you know, when you committed to it, you did it, you know, and that was, you know, so it's like,
she was only 3 or 6 weeks old or something, wasn't she?
I think she was 5 days old, Maureen.
Oh my God.
I know. We should be shot.
Like, I actually, that's crazy. But like you said, Rosemary, like, when I say that I'm going to do something or be somewhere, like, I think that's the thing about makeup artistry. I don't know if anyone really understands what goes on behind the background. You know, like, say for example, I'm going to a shoot. You're up the night before and you're taking everything apart in your kit. You're making sure it's all perfect. You're checking your stock. You're making sure everything that you have is there. Then what you're doing is you're checking the routes to make sure that there's no road works. You're getting up early that morning. You're leaving yourself an extra hour. Like, I've often done bridal parties below in Kerry, and like, you're up at 4:30 or 5 o'clock in the morning to get down there on time. You're starting at 7:30, 8 o'clock. You're there emotionally invested in the family, because it's not just about the makeup. You have to be a really strong businesswoman behind it all as well. And, you know, you have to understand what your clients want and what they need before they even know that they need it. You know? So, and
you always do, though, because, like, literally when we go to do a shoot, like our big shoots, and, you know, you're there and you'd say, what do you want, Rosemary? I go, like, Maureen, you know more than I know what we want here.
You just do you.
And you know, all of the models that you've ever done for us would always, like, literally, like, they're going aghast. They look fabulous and they feel fabulous, and then that comes out, you know, which like, you make them be the best version of themselves, which is,
I love that, Rosemary.
No, but that's what it is. Like, that is genuinely what it is, you know. And like, it's a pleasure always. You know, we're blessed, the whole team of people that we've ever worked with on shoots, and you've been a really strong part of that. Like, we're blessed for over the years. You know, so look, it was a complete pleasure to chat, and maybe, you know, if we end up locked in for a little bit more than what we think we will, we might do another one again. But it was an absolute pleasure to talk to you today, Maureen. And
Rosemary, it's fab talking to you. Thanks a million.
All right. Look, talk to you soon. Take care.
Mind yourself.
Thanks.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye. So that was Maureen for you, and I'm seeing loads of comments coming up here saying, I see from Emily, one of our agrees, and I know that, like, Sunita, Kate, all the girls that Maureen has ever done makeup on for us, they would say the exact same. So hopefully you pick something up out of that. I know for me, the mascara thing is a little bit life-changing, and when I see myself in this light here, you think I hadn't got a stick of makeup on me, but I do. But just obviously Maureen didn't do it for me, so it's not fantastic. But look, we'll all have, I suppose, lots of time now to practice our skills over the coming weeks. So stay safe, everyone. Next week we'll have another person on our series of Tempted Talks. Take care, and thanks for coming in.